Raquel Rodriguez erupts as Lyra Valkyria calls her a coward on WWE. What is more dangerous than an angry giant in a WWE ring? An angry giant who has just been publicly called out by a woman who fights with the terrifying focus of an enraged mythological bird. If you thought the Women's Intercontinental Championship scene was running on smooth tracks, think again, because the entire train just flew off the rails, flipped through the air, and exploded into a blaze of glorious chaos. Welcome to the absolute madhouse of WWE, where words cut deeper than steel chairs and personal pride is worth more than a room full of gold belts. Before we dive headfirst into this spectacular wreckage, do yourself a massive favor, smash that subscribe button, slam that notification bell right now, and join the squad so you never miss a single second of the absolute chaos we break down every single day. Now, let us set the stage, because the atmosphere surrounding the Women's Intercontinental Championship just went from a mild simmer to an absolute, unhinged inferno. Raquel Rodriguez has been strutting around the arena looking like an unstoppable fortress. She has the size, she has the terrifying power, and she has a powerhouse style that usually leaves her opponents looking like squashed aluminum cans on the side of the highway. But physical dominance only takes you so far when someone manages to rent out a permanent, rent-free apartment inside your head. Enter Lyra Valkyria. Lyra did not just step up to the champion, she took a giant can of virtual gasoline, poured it all over Raquel's massive ego, and casually dropped a lit match directly onto it. When Lyra looked straight into the camera and dropped the one word guaranteed to turn any elite athlete into a flying hurricane of rage, calling Raquel a flat-out coward, the entire WWE universe collectively gasped. You see, calling a powerhouse like Raquel Rodriguez a coward is not just a standard wrestling insult. It is a dangerous, borderline suicidal career move. It is the physical equivalent of poking a hibernating grizzly bear with a toothpick while wearing a suit made entirely of raw bacon. You just do not do it unless you possess a very specific, deeply alarming kind of crazy. Yet, Lyra Valkyria did it with absolute, bone-chilling composure. She did not scream, she did not throw a temper tantrum, and she certainly did not blink. She delivered a chilling, surgical message that sent shockwaves straight through the backstage area. Lyra essentially told the world that behind all those intimidating muscle flexes, the towering height, and the championship gold, Raquel is running scared from a real challenge. And how did the powerhouse champion react to being publicly dissected on national television? She did not just lose her cool, she completely erupted like a dormant volcano that was tired of being quiet. Raquel Rodriguez flipped the switch from calculated champion to absolute demolition derby in a fraction of a second. Backstage areas were suddenly no longer safe for dynamic props, random stagehands, or fragile equipment. When an athlete of that caliber erupts, it is not just a bad mood, it is a localized natural disaster. Raquel was pacing the hallways like a caged tiger that had just been denied dinner, practically breathing fire, and demanding blood. The sheer psychological damage of Lyra's words hit Raquel harder than a heavy boot to the jaw, instantly proving that Lyra hit the exact nerve she was aiming for. This entire explosive feud brings us to a fascinating question: is Lyra Valkyria crazy, or is she playing high-stakes, master-level chess while everyone else is playing simple checkers? Think about it for a second. On paper, matching up Lyra against Raquel looks like putting a sleek sports car up against a monster truck in a head-on collision. Standard logic says the monster truck wins every single time without even scratching its paint job. But wrestling is rarely played on paper, and momentum is a tricky beast. Lyra knows that an angry opponent is a sloppy opponent. By pushing Raquel entirely out of her comfort zone and forcing her to fight with raw, uncontrolled emotion rather than cold tactical strategy, Lyra has effectively neutralized the champion's biggest advantage. She stripped away Raquel's cool composure and replaced it with blinding, chaotic rage. Which brings us directly to the current state of the Women's Intercontinental Championship. A belt is just a piece of leather and shiny metal until people are willing to tear down the entire arena just to hold it, and right now, this title feels like the most valuable prize on the planet. Raquel Rodriguez is fighting to preserve her dominant legacy and prove that she is not hiding behind her stature. Meanwhile, Lyra Valkyria is hunting like a bird of prey, waiting for the giant to make one microscopic mistake so she can swoop in and snatch the throne. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a broadsword, and every single time these two powerhouse personalities get anywhere near the same building, security guards start sweating through their uniforms. We are officially standing on the edge of a massive, explosive showdown that threatens to completely redefine the entire division. Will Raquel's unmatched, crushing power level the challenger into dust, or will Lyra's icy composure and psychological mind games spark one of the most shocking title changes in recent history? One thing is absolute certainty: when these two forces finally collide in the center of that ring, nobody is walking away unscathed, and the ring canvas might need structural reinforcements. Thank you so much for watching.